live.
All the way live.
Oh yeah. Sorry for not being here last week. We were both a little busy, but we're back. What's your phrase?
Back in here, yo.
It's back up in here, yo. You forgot your own phrase?
Back up in here, yo.
My goodness. All right. So, based off the last one we did, since everyone loved all that the MCU stuff.
Yes.
I felt it was appropriate that we start off with a DC version.
Okay, I can go to DC version.
Okay. I figured we'd just kick off the podcast with the DC version, the stream with the DC version.
Okay.
So, now remember, a lot of you guys got a little confused in the comment sections on other stuff, and you guys started listening, just everyone in Marvel in general didn't have powers. We're talking about just in the film, so the cinematic universe, it didn't have any powers. Because if you do comics, there's a huge list of people.
Yes.
Right? So we're saying so far on the DC side, not the animated, the live action, the DCEU, I believe is what they call it.
Yeah, so basically, who in the DCU can you beat in a fight
if they didn't have
their superpowers?
Powers. Okay? Do you want to kick us off, or
dude, I was
who's
thinking
your hands
that
first? I'm
thinking that, and pretty much the first thing I can think of right now is Flash.
Oh, Barry Allen?
Yeah, he's getting hands. So that's what I'm thinking. Like, I mean, Superman's still pretty big.
Clark Kent is still a farm boy.
He's still a farm boy.
He's still a big farm boy.
And Aquaman big too.
Aquaman is still a big dude. And
I don't know
Hal Jordan, technically not yet mentioned briefly, I guess.
Yeah.
Wait, should we count TV shows or just the movies?
Just the movies.
Just the movies. Okay. I mean, if Cyborg doesn't have his powers, he's basically a vegetable. So, I mean, I'm just saying, I wouldn't want to fight him, but
it's like,
if I had, if my life was on the line, I needed to win.
Taking that easy.
He's on the chopping block, okay? Because then he doesn't have the mother box. he's just basically mutilated body pieces.
It's like, I'm taking the win, you know.
I'm taking an easy W on that one. Easy W. Technically, maybe Wonder Woman, I guess, if she wasn't an Amazonian. But
yeah, because that's not her power, so that just throws everything off. And
then she's technically like a mixture of like Amazonian and like God. So
yeah,
she just have to be just Amazonian, but that would still make her really strong. So.
Yeah.
Because you can't technically, that's not taking away her power.
This is how she was born that way. So that's the way she's born. So like the way she's born.
I don't think I'm taking that fight. Batman, you can't really put in that argument because he doesn't have powers at all. So
yeah, so he's a guy.
I'm not gonna fight some dude trained in every martial art known to man.
You don't leave Batman alone.
It's a hard pass.
You don't leave Batman alone.
Oh, you know who I would slap up and tell him to sit in the corner? Billy Batson, a.k.a. Shazam. Better sit down.
Fight me. Orphan Shazam kids.
Y'all don't sit down there. Better chill.
Hey, technically, powerless Black Adam is the skinny.
No.
No, he was skinny, right?
Not the way they did him. Not the way they did Black Adam.
Oh, yeah.
The Rock was still huge before he.
I thought they put him on his head on a skinny body, and then he got.
Oh, I guess that's true.
Yeah, they put his head on a skinny body. He was skinny, and then he got the powers. And then he became like, because he's constantly just had the powers since then. He hasn't set it off. He hasn't turned it off.
I guess technically you could fight him because the way. Well, I don't know.
He would just be like some skinny old Egyptian.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess you could do him.
Just smack the Rock.
Because in the comic when he says it, he dies. Because he loses the power and he instantly.
He's like, so that's like easy win.
So maybe dust, right? He's dust. Okay. If that were to happen, because they don't. He doesn't ever say it in the Black Adam movie. But if he were to say it, that's probably why they don't have him say it. Who else movies have they done so far? I can't think of any other. Well, up and coming, I'll say Blue Beetle because he's also a kid. technically like a
I don't know.
college kid.
He might have learned some stuff on Karate Kid though. But it's a different guy though. That's the character itself. I don't know what the character is because I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know what the character knows. But I guess he doesn't know anything. He's a pool cleaner, so I guess I can be the pool cleaner.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. He's catching hands. Bodies.
We're gonna catch these hands.
Yeah. So, who else do they have? See, like if we go to the animated one, wait, we can't count Constantine because he's not part of the DCUE, right? But technically, he doesn't really have powers because it's more like magic.
Yeah,
right?
well, it's like Strange, right? Because it would be the same thing with Strange.
Yeah.
So Strange magic is his powers. I mean,
I guess that's true. Yeah, that would be true. So he wouldn't know mystic arts, basically.
Yeah.
And he'd just be a
guy.
Yeah, but he's not technically part of the DCEU. But if they ever do let Keanu Reeves do another one, it's supposed to be part of it, and I would pick him.
It's just probably not anymore.
Yeah. Who else do we have for DCEU? I think that's it, really.
They really don't have a whole lot.
Yeah, they don't really have a whole lot. They rushed that whole project in the first place.
Oh, Lex Luthor getting them hands, though.
Oh, villains? Oh, that's for sure. Was he going to just try to, like, outsmart you? Yeah. No.
That's like the only villain.
And I'll be honest, their version of the Joker, I'm going to beat the out of him before he decides to do some weird thing. I'll just say that right now. Because that little skinny version that Joaquin Phoenix plays, I'm going to beat the...
No, that's not it's not the Joaquin one. It's the other one. Joaquin is not the DCU one. It's
Jared Leto version.
Yeah, Jared Leto is the one that's the DCU
I mean,
one.
he technically doesn't have powers. And I'm not fighting a crazy dude with knives and guns randomly.
Yeah.
Right?
So I'm leaving Joker alone.
Yeah, so in the Joker, if he's the Joaquin Phoenix version...
Yeah, he's not the Joaquin's not in the DCU, though.
He's on the Black Label.
But that's separate.
I guess that's true.
That's separate. So yeah, that's why he's separate. So it's the Jared Leto one is technically in.
Oh, that's true. That's true because he's in the Snyder cut, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So. And then you got the other Batman from what's his face?
Oh,
dude from Twilight.
Robert Pattinson Batman, but he's not in either.
And then you have their version of the Riddler,
which I beat.
Yeah. Yeah, their universe is much smaller for sure. I'm trying to think of what else. Besides Shazam.
They got much. Shazam kids and Shazam getting that.
That's it. Yeah. What else they got coming out?
It's Aquaman again.
Yeah.
Blue Beetle. That's all they got left.
That's all they got. That's a short one.
That's all they got.
If we put in their animated one, then the list becomes extremely huge compared to the live action. So we'll leave that for now, and now we will circle to our next topic. That was a short, quick, and easy one. Let us know in the comments or join in chat live. We're gonna roll to the next one, which is 80s movies.
Which one would you like to see remade?
I know there's a lot of remakes, and I know it's a very popular thing.
There's a lot of 80s
However, an 80s movie that would translate well into a current film, not with the current treatment of how they're remaking films, of let's just like completely replace every single solitary character and reimagine them. No, I'm talking about saying, okay, take the character as it was, put a new actor in that role, maybe a small tweak of the script, maybe small, ever so slight, and then just redo the whole film.
Okay. That's not kind of update a little bit of my one.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's
like
small updates
with some CGI.
But well, that's fine. So, but you're still for the basic purpose of this, you're keeping the meat and bone, so to speak, the core of whatever made that film likable, and then just updating with new actors, maybe a few twists here and there for the new people you put, little plot changes here and there. What's on top of your list?
Never ending story.
Oh,
So a whole new generation knows how it feels to watch that scene in the mud.
Man.
just traumatize a whole new generation of kids.
I ain't gonna lie to you. When I was a kid and that came on, I don't think I ever cried at anything until I saw that. And then I was watching it like this. Because I kept wiping.
Fight against the sadness, Artex.
Yeah, I kept wiping my like tears on my sleeve, and then my mom was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." Why did the horse have to die?
and me myself as a kid was like, how is he not sinking? He's clearly sad.
Yeah, like, I was trying to think. I was like, wouldn't the boy sink too?
Yeah, he would sink too because it was like.
Heck?
But I think it's not the. I think what they said it's the sadness of the swamp has to do it, and not you being sad.
Yeah, it has to get to you because Atreyu still had his focus on completing the mission.
But yeah, he was still sad about the
horse. The horse overall
was just like, oh, what's this place? It's a bunch of despair, and
I'm giving into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it was. And then later on, when he was like trucking through the mud, then it was getting to him like,
man, I'm hurt. I lost my horse. Here. Just me by myself.
I'm never gonna find Mora, the ancient one.
Because he needed to save what's her name?
The childlike empress. Yes. And he got the luck dragon.
Yeah.
Falcon. And then come for me, Gamork. I am betrayed. That has to be in there.
It's a racing style.
I just need that scene. I'm like,
I also want the racing style, like really badly.
And you actually can see it move better, and just go off and just leave a trail behind it.
Like I want him to do like a turbo-inspired racing snail. You ever seen Turbo?
Gone. Like, want me to carry you? I was like, ooh, that is a racing snail.
And like the rock fighter.
Yeah.
Ooh, limestone.
He's like, there's no limestone like this one. Where you're from? No, nothing's there. Oh, you ate it all. No, nothing's there.
Yeah, like when they explain the nothing, that would be crazy. Okay, now would you want to still have it have Jim Henson style, like creatures?
They did one thing where like
it was. Would you prefer to have them all CGI? Because to me, I'll be honest with you, there's some movies where I feel like CGIing the creatures kind of messes it up.
Well, there was like this thing that came out like a while, like it was like probably now it's probably been like 7, 8, maybe not 10 years ago that they actually like reimagined it. And someone did a whole like movie design for each of the characters and like how they looked.
Oh, okay.
And it looked amazing. And then like they made like Gamork, he's still a wolf, but it's more like black, but then like smoke comes off of him.
I personally would like to see them do him like they did the Michael Jackson wolf in Thriller. I think that would be kind of cool.
Nah.
No? No.
I want the cool looking dark ominous wolf
with the eyes and the
with the eyes. And then the way they had it too, because like I guess they could update it because it's like because the way they had it before it was smoke, so then he could just move more like ominously because it would just be like him moving in like almost like a patch of smoke, but then you could see like see the wolf in the smoke
where he like just misses Atreyu.
Yeah, and you see like the smoke come up, and you just see like his mouth come out and just like goes for him, and it just makes him seem like more ominous.
Okay, so almost for a majority of it, make it look like a fog until you see his.
Yeah, but you see like legs or something, or you see like something come out the smoke, like you.
Like there's like flashes of his body.
Yeah.
See, and that would work out good still to have like the Jim Henson creature shop type of stuff too, right? So you can still have like the leg and like the head come out, so you don't have to do completely CGI, right?
I do like if they keep it where the fact that his teeth are overbit, where they actually cut himself.
Oh, that was kind of cool.
So when he talks, you can just see it where it's just literally just going on his own like side of his mouth. And I go, that actually made him so much more dangerous.
He did look more dangerous that way. Yeah. Like it looked like he was just like ravenously looking to devour a trade. Like I'm gonna get him.
But then he talks so slowly, and so just like it was
like he was like very calm.
Yeah,
like his demeanor, like I don't know whoever was the voice actor for that did a great job.
He was like, "You're going to be,"
because he had me like very like chilled and like, wait a minute,
just a menacing, like just a murder, just like you're going to be my last victim,
like
before the nothing,
like the hype, like leading into that moment
tension,
where they like realize like, yo, you're the boy I was after. You're the thing that was after me.
He's like, come here, boy.
I'm a tree. Yeah, when he tells me, he's like, alas, I lost him. In whatever that bog is called.
He lost in the swamps. Yeah,
he lost in the swamps. Yeah. Of eternal sadness, right?
Yeah, because he lost him. Yeah, he lost him in a. Well, no, is it the swamps? Yeah, the swamps he pulls about, and that's where he. Is it where he gets them?
Yeah, because that's where Falco pulls him out. This is where he goes in. Because it shows where Falco pulls him out, and like he jumps to try to get him. And
because he talks to him more first, and after he talks to him, he gets sad, and that's when he pulls him out. Yeah. Okay.
Because he's like, it was like a turtle basically told me my journey is hopeless.
Nothing matters anymore. Nothing even matters. If it didn't matter, you would tell me. Clever boy. We don't know. We started talking to ourselves.
It's like, I'm right here. Oh man. All right, so for me, I'm going with Labyrinth. Now I know that's semi-controversial because everyone's like, "Oh, don't touch Labyrinth because David Bowie and yada yada yada." But hear me out here.
Okay, well, who's the magician? Like, who's the music person that's gonna replace?
Who is like the wizard, basically?
Yeah.
Like the warlock, technically. Because I think that's what he was, right? He was like a warlock or something like that. All right. So hear me out. Jim Carrey.
Okay.
Huh?
Okay. Huh? I don't think he does that anymore, though.
Fuck that.
I guess all he does now is like dramas. He doesn't do like.
But it's technically he's not really doing like evil or anything like that, right?
I know, but like he hasn't done like
for kids.
He hasn't done like it was like the last comedy he's done.
Now, if you don't use him, you could do
because you have to throw a bunch of money at him to get him to do it, and
I don't know. How much did he get paid for the stupid Sonic movies?
Probably a lot.
He probably was their budget.
Yeah.
Including the CGI. It's like Jim Carrey and CGI.
CGI, that's probably it.
Yeah, I think he would be good.
I mean, he would.
I think he would be really good, especially like with the singing part. The only other person I was thinking that you could maybe get, I guess you could get. I don't really want to say it, but I think he could maybe pull it off. What's his name? He did White Man Can't Jump.
Woody Harrelson?
No. Jack Harlow.
Oh, Jack Harlow? Nah.
No?
Nah.
Huh? I'm trying to think who else could who's a decent singer and like a good actor. See, for me, the first thing that came to my head, I'm like, okay, if I'm replacing David Bowie, you're using Jim Carrey. Easy replacement right there. Because then you can have him be a little older, have the makeup on, and then
get Hugh Jackman.
Ha! Oh, he does do a lot of singing parts. Actually, you could do Hugh Jackman or Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, Ryan Reynolds would be crazy.
Ryan Reynolds would be a good one. Or if you wanted to go with a pure comedic side of it, you could choose Will Ferrell.
I think I think what made it work is like Bowie's character was more serious while everything else was just like completely silly.
I think you could do Ryan Reynolds though.
Yeah, I think you just kind of put it with like.
I think you do Ryan Reynolds.
But make him more serious, but then everything else is silly. But he's being serious to like something, and it would work.
For the girl who's trying to find her baby brother, I would choose home chick who played in Hawkeye. What's her face?
The played.
Yeah, I think her name's Haley also. You see.
That played. That's what blank on her thing from Hawkeye.
Yep. Haley Steinfeld. There you go. Kate Bishop. This is who I would have play that character. And then the rest everyone doesn't matter. I'm not now. Hear me out. I would still have the majority of them still be the creatures from Jim Henson's like shop thing. If that's I think it's still around. I think they still use their stuff, but I would prefer that to be the majority of the way they do it, with a little bit of CGI, like that how they have that worm that comes out and he talks to her in the maze. Like that's okay if it's CGI, or like those gremlin like type of things that pop out where like their whole bodies like come apart. Like updated version of that CGI would be kind of cool, because the way they did it with people in green suits and like moving the bodies was very easy to see nowadays. So that would be okay if they did CGI on that. But that would be who I would cast for that. I don't think you need anyone else after that. Yeah, I would like that.
Okay.
The other one I was gonna say, but then I remember Netflix redid it, was Dark Crystal.
Dark Crystal. Well, they did a prequel, right? They didn't redo it. So it's a prequel to Dark Crystal.
Yeah, but it's kind of like redoing it.
I mean, it continues the story. I mean,
all I'll say is the original plan for it was to redo that and then put out a show that covered the Dark Crystal movie, and they never did it. I don't know if that was because of the pandemic or just because the prequel didn't do so well on Netflix. So either way, they didn't do that good of a job. Because I fell asleep on the second one, never watched the third episode. So
I watched the whole thing.
How was it?
That's okay. I mean,
yeah,
it was okay. It was okay. I mean,
we're in like, So, any other ones that you would do for the 80s?
It's hard.
That's what she
said. This one's difficult.
Uh-oh. Go ahead. I have a feeling I know which one you might be thinking of.
I would like them to do it. It's one of those things where like I would like them to do it, but at the same time I don't want them to do it. It's one of those things where it's like updated with CGI, and then some of the fighting scenes and some of the stuff would be kind of cooler. Big Trouble in Little China.
I knew you were gonna. I had a feeling like when you said it, because in my mind I'm like, okay, who are you casting as Jack?
That's
Burton?
The problem. That's the biggest problem. That's the biggest problem.
I can put someone else in every other role.
That's the biggest problem.
Who he putting as Jack Burton?
And that goes. That's the biggest problem, because you have like Kurt Russell. So it's like, how do you?
By the way, did you ever watch that YouTube one I sent you? The dude saying how Big Trouble in Little China is the best movie of all time.
I think I saw parts. I didn't watch. I didn't finish it all though.
You need to watch the whole thing. Yeah. It's hilarious. Hilarious.
But yeah, I'm trying to think like of
who's playing Jack Burton.
That's the hard part. And it's funny because we sit there and say Ryan Reynolds for everything, but I mean he could, but I want to find someone else.
He definitely could.
He definitely could. Ryan Reynolds could, but it's like
he could pull it off easily. I think.
Yeah.
See, the problem is with when you pick an 80s movie and then you pick an 80s movie that's action, there's not that many action people nowadays.
Because they don't make comedy movies, so it's action. Everything's action comedy. Actually.
You could have The Rock play him.
You know what? I would see it though. I would. I would go see it.
Doing the whole trucker thing too.
Yes, I would. I can see it. It would
that's
fit.
A role
it
for
would
him.
fit. It would fit.
That's a role for him. Like
that
100%.
Actually would. The Rock would actually 100% with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so then who do you get to play? What's his friend's name in that one?
Chan.
Chan. Yeah.
I don't even know. Like who's.
No? No, that's no.
Well, you know better than I would, so.
I mean, I guess you could have, what's the name? Samuel Liu that did Shang-Chi?
Yeah. Yeah. Those two, actually, that'd actually be.
Good duo?
That'd be a good duo. That actually would be. But it also makes it funny because you make it The Rock, where he just like can't really do anything, and he's right? He's like all in the reflexes, and and he's just big, and he's like, "You're that big, you can't fight nobody."
And it would be perfect for that scene too, where they infiltrate like the brothel,
Yeah.
and he has the glasses on.
See things I've never seen before. it can do it.
Yeah, I think they could do it. The rest of the cast after that, I don't think it really matters. You can put whoever else you want in there.
Because like,
doesn't even need to be big names.
Yeah, because most of like the
although who plays Lopan?
Lopan, yeah.
Technically, you could still get that dude because he's alive.
You could,
and he still does a lot of movies. Like he's still very active.
But because they did exist to get younger though, so you'd have someone like
the way Hollywood makeup works.
I know, but
he's playing an old man regardless.
You could still get him,
right?
Yeah.
Especially with, like they won't even have to do as much makeup as they did before. Remember when he's in the wheelchair? He's like, "Oh yeah." You only have to do that much. So, you know what I mean? Put him out there.
Yeah.
That would be easy one.
You can keep him. I mean, you could keep him. Or you do something like, what, if you want to go for a bigger name and do something like Jackie Chan or something.
That's what I was going to say. Get Jackie Chan.
Yeah, like Jackie. If you want to go for a bigger name.
Yeah.
And just put like, yeah.
Or Donnie Yen.
One of them has to play the other older guy, right? So you could really one. You could do both, technically.
Jet Li.
I could do Jet Li and Jackie Chan. So them sitting there. Like not fighting each other, but just sitting there, just like.
That'd be funny. And you get whoever you need to play, like the extras or whatever. Yeah. Who do you get to play the three though? The three warlords of death.
I don't know. There you go. Get Donnie Yen.
Does anybody, right?
Just get a bunch of people like
the other people.
Yeah.
Maybe give Tony.
Donnie Yen, and then
what's his name? The dude who did, I don't know his name, and I apologize. Dang it, what's that called? Raid? You know what I'm talking about? Is it Redemption? No, what is that movie called? It's Raid or something like that.
You get one of them.
Yeah, you can get that guy.
So you have the three right there.
Yeah, Raid the Redemption. Iko Uwais. Yeah, this guy.
Oh, yeah.
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 He'd be perfect for
he would be. Yeah. You get Iko, yeah.
I apologize. I know, like, if I see him in the movie, I know who they are, but, like.
That's you.
Because I love Raid. Like, that's, like, has some of the best fight scene and close quarter scenes ever. Especially the scene where, like, he's in prison. Ever seen that one where they, like, come to him in the stall?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that was good. Ebola. No. Definitely not Ebola. Oh, this guy could be Lopan.
Yeah. I mean, it probably if you wanted to go cheaper on the budget, yeah. But if you wanted to go, if you had budget
full disclaimer, I know not all these actors are technically Chinese because I know like Big Trouble in Little China, they're supposed to all be Chinese. But you know what? It's okay. It's called acting for a reason.
Yeah. Don't matter now anyway, because pretty much every white person in the movie now is British, and then they act like they're American.
That's true. That's true. Dang near. For me, for my second one, I mentioned this earlier, and I'm kind of rethinking it.
Okay.
Only because I don't know if it would still have like the same like magic feel to it. And then my other one I want to say, I honestly don't want them to ever touch this film. But I would love a good redone version, especially because someone like the people who were in that film. Okay, I'll just say it. The Princess Bride.
I thought about that one. That was like the third. That's like the third one on me, and I was like, how would you go about doing it?
Because you don't have Andre the Giant.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could get a wrestler. You can get like Batista or somebody.
No.
But he's like, oh well, you can get Big Show. You can get Big Show.
He doesn't that presence though. You know what I
Big
mean?
Show's 7'3", 400 pounds. Yes, he's not Andre the Giant, but he's like the next.
You could have Shaq play him.
Shaq's smaller than Big Show.
Is he?
Yeah.
How big is Big Show?
Big Show's like 7'2", 500 pounds. Like they literally called him. Like, he can't start.
Shaq is 7'4".
But he's like 500 pounds.
Not anymore, but he looks bigger.
Like Big Show was like they literally built him as like Andre the Giant's son when he started wrestling.
Okay. But since I honestly don't want them to touch that, another one that was on in the back of my mind is I would like them to potentially remake Legend. With that initially had Tom Cruise and I believe Tim Curry.
They're gonna replace Tom Cruise with Tom Holland.
Maybe, good, or Timothy Chalamet.
Okay.
Right, could be one of those two newer folks. Right, and then I don't know who you get to play Tim Curry's character though.
Sudeikis, right? Because he played the devil. He just basically was a big huge thing, right? So he's been Golem. He's done Golem. He's done all that work so far. So that would be the guy that does it now.
That would work. Yeah, that would work. And then doesn't really matter the female actress because I wasn't really that too big of a part for her. Although she was very popular.
Well, she changes because she goes evil, doesn't she? Like for a little bit because he gets seduced.
Kind of. Not really though. It's just more of like a farce, right? Because she just ends up freeing the unicorn anyways.
Yeah.
So, and then the rest of the people, like, it doesn't really matter who you put in there. I think as long as you get two people to carry the good and evil side, you cast whoever you want in between there. Is just fine with me. Although I know semi-controversial choice, just because I think he could add some seriousness and some comedy as like the fairy people. I would like Kevin Hart to be the main dude who leads him through with other actual like dwarfs, right? But he be the
tallest one.
Yeah, he would be the tallest one because that's how it is in Legend. Is that like I think it's actually a kid who plays that role initially, but I think Kevin. You know what? Genius idea. Make it even funnier. Kevin is the head of the fairy people, and then the other actors are actually kids who they're calling dwarves, but we all know that they're kids.
Okay.
That would be hilarious. It would take the seriousness down just a smidge,
yeah,
but still add comedy like you see in Legend. But you can still make it very dark like how Legend is actually. Right? Like when he has to fight that swamp creature. Oh man, that was crazy. And then even in the opening, like it's actually like you're like, oh, so it's like it's cool. Oh, murder the unicorn.
Yeah, murder the unicorn.
And you came in, you just murdered everybody else with the magic of your wand.
Hell yeah!
That was
80s movies weren't for the weak of heart.
Yeah.
80s movie, actually, okay, so a dark 80s movie, which I love, but there's no reason to remake it, would be Return to Oz. I fairly enjoyed that movie, but I'm a weird kid, so that's what I liked.
Oh,
most people haven't even seen Return to Oz.
We haven't even mentioned this. Who would you get to direct that?
Oh, Return to Oz?
I can tell you right now who I would love to direct that.
I would like Tim Burton, but
I want the dude who did Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh, Del Toro? I think it's Del Toro, right? I think it's Del Toro.
Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
I would like him to do it.
I know, because he changes it. And it's going to be like abstract, because he always changes the way the characters look. And I want the characters the way they are. I like the way they are, so I was like, I don't want him to completely change the character.
And the only reason why I say that is because I think Tim Burton will do the same thing. But I think
because is Nightmare Before Christmas is Tim Burton, right?
Yeah.
He stole Jack from that movie.
Who did?
Tim Burton.
Stole Jack from what movie?
Return to Oz.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like that's what I'm saying. He already knows the movie. He already likes the movie. Okay. He stole the character from it. That's what I was saying. Like he stole the character from it. That's why I was like,
fair enough.
He'll enjoy it. So like, if you basically made Nightmare Before Christmas based off a character from Return to Oz.
Like there you go.
There you go.
So that'd be cool. I think. Oh man.
I mean, literally to see this
E.T.
the different. I really wouldn't care.
Now, to be honest, E.T. was a little bit bigger of a film, I think, than what they thought it was going to be. Yeah. It was kind of one of those things that surprised. And the reason why I say E.T. is...
Well, here's the thing.
Hold on, hear me out. Given the fact that they just had that dude go on the Supreme Court and testify...
aliens?
Yeah, I think it would have great momentum right now. A bunch of people will rush out to go see it.
But I just feel like...
Quick cash grab.
My thing is like, it's just a cash grab.
Does it need to be remade?
Yeah, there's not really like any...
No.
You look at Spielberg and how he did it, like, what would you improve on it? What would you change? You're just doing the exact same movie with different actors.
That's fine. And better Alien. That's what I would like. A better Alien.
It was fine.
Like, perfect example. Mac and Me. You ever see that?
Yeah, Mac and movie can exist. That's something that can be updated. See, it's the difference when you say, Flight of the Navigator.
Oh, yes. That would be dope. Okay.
Okay, redoing Flight of the Navigator.
Flight of the Navigator would be dope.
Would be pretty awesome.
Oh, especially because you could tie in, like, the AI could have so much more, like, going on. Although I wouldn't want him to do too much, though.
But then, too, now you could do it differently. Because, like, before he was like, what, in the 60s or something? And then he got pulled into the 80s. And then he was still a kid?
Yeah.
So now you could basically do, like, someone that was, like, an 80s kid and get pulled into today.
Yeah, you could.
And they'd be like, why are those people like talking to their hands? Or why is people talking to themselves? And like, you know, it is. And it's like, oh, I have a computer. Like, they're like, wait, that's your computer? Like, you know, like this seeing the difference of like everything. And then just going across like, oh.
That'd be cool. I'll be down for that.
They're like they're basically flying through. They're like, why is there no one in that car? It's like,
see like a Waymo go by?
Yeah, and it's like self-driving cars and stuff like that where just they be like could be freaking out and just be like,
why is that car plugged into the house?
Yeah.
Electric car.
It goes back to his family and he's just like, what's going on?
That'd be cool. I could see that. That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one. Yeah, Journey and Navigator. Yeah, that'd be a good one. I can see that one. Any other ones?
I think that's it. Because I'm trying to think of like something I would.
Would you want to see them redo Gremlins?
No. No.
Actually, no.
I think the reason why is just like it's how the humor from the 80s was way darker. And they can't translate that to today, because I mean the Gremlins are playing on a kid and made this like basically criminal old lady shoot out the door.
I was gonna say that. I was like, I realized there was so much like elderly like abuse humor.
Yeah, like all through Gremlins, right? Like all through Gremlins, there's a bunch of like elderly abuse. They're like messing up people. Like it's just so much stuff that was like darker that they wouldn't do today. And they're trying to find some other way it wouldn't be as good.
Perfect example of a movie they would never do today. Garbage Pail Kids. Did you ever see it?
Yeah, here's the thing.
There's no way they would redo that movie. No way.
Yeah.
No way they would redo that movie.
But, I mean, it didn't make money back then either.
But still. There's no way they would redo that movie.
Yeah.
Someone fart blasting across the screen or throwing boogers or
I can see this looking weird.
all kind of stuff, but it'd be interesting. Any other ideas for 80s movies? I mean, there's a crap ton, but none that I really want to see remade.
If they accurately did it right, He-Man.
Who's playing He-Man?
No, I'm just playing it. I just want The Rock to play it. Who's playing He-Man?
Robert Downey Jr.
He's
Hear me out.
I would say Batista, but he don't want to do it no more.
Hear me out, though. The only reason why I'm saying Robert Downey is because that way he can go from white to black. A la Tropic Thunder.
No.
Right? No?
He doesn't do that in He-Man.
That would be
He-Man doesn't go black.
He-Man is a white dude with blonde hair. He calls upon the power of Grayskull and goes to a tanned out dude with orange hair.
Okay. So you black people don't walk around with orange hair.
I don't know any white boys walking around with orange hair either.
Okay. But you said tan. You going way more than tan.
He's extremely tan. He's darker than me. He's between us.
No, it happens.
He looked like he got tanned up to do a bodybuilding show. He was like, power of Grayskull. Went into a tanning booth before a bodybuilding show.
Gotta make those muscles pop, yo.
Yeah, I'm like, we about to put you in front of the lights. You gotta get tanned up.
You gotta be pop, yo.
Yeah. And if anyone out there tells me He-Man don't look like he turns black after he was a blonde white dude, super pale, all of a sudden gets the best tan in the world, you're lying to yourself. I'm telling you that right now.
Tan means real, yo. If you ain't tan, you ain't trying it. You know what I'm saying?
What are you gonna say? He becomes a surfer dude? Yeah, bruh. Come here, Skeletor. Catch these hands.
Who has a perfect tan? Batista.
I don't know if Batista would do that.
They wouldn't do it anymore. He's the one we're trained for it anymore.
I do like the portrayal of Dolph Lundgren's He-Man.
Yeah. I mean, I like him. I like him as He-Man. The movie annoyed me as hell as the kid.
Yeah, the movie wasn't that great, but he was good casting for it.
Yeah, he was good casting for it. Him and Skeletor were fine. Him, Skeletor, Evelyn were fine.
That was good. That was good.
The rest of that, they could have just scrapped that whole movie.
Also, I didn't like the plot of like.
Oh, the plot was trash.
Why would his world cross into ours?
Yeah, because they didn't know how to. They was going to do something completely new, and I'm like, I went with the movie theater. I'm like, who's this new character?
I don't like to me what's the point of making it'd be like, hey, you have I don't know, like hell Willow, and being like, oh, to make Willow relevant today, let's put Willow crosses over from their ancient time in today's time. Why? There'd be no point. Why does this take place back in the day? Right? Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever,
So people can understand this cartoon. We got to put it in today's. Like, why do we have to put? Why do we have to?
You don't have to. It's not necessary.
There's no reason. Like the same thing they did with like the Super Mario Brothers movie. They basically brought him to like New York City. But they brought him from New York and they went back and it was like
live action one.
Yeah, it was like, why? I don't need that.
Even in the new cartoon, they did a good job with that. I'm just saying that technically, you don't need to.
Yeah, you don't need to bring you
can just leave them there.
Yeah, like they already have their world. You don't need to bring in like for video game movies and things like that.
I guess I get it. There needs to be a reason why they're in this crazy magical mushroom kingdom. And there's plumbers. I get that.
I get it, but I don't need you to remake a whole new movie
back. And then now, also, there was really no like full on lore about that, so that's fine or whatever. It wasn't that big a deal. I think that's the only case where it really works. Whereas in something like He-Man, there was there wasn't a mention of our world. Basically, it was just them in like Grayskull and whatever.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden he gets like, well, they were saying that he got certain dimensions to get out, and he ends up in just of all the worlds that they got sent through the portal. They ended up here and was like,
because there's Eternia where they're at, right? And then where was she? She-Ra? Where was she? Same thing?
Yeah, she's still in Eternia. It's just different. Right? It was just different part of it, like different part in the world.
Yeah, that was just so they could make more toys. Get the female market.
Yeah.
Also, those were great documentaries on Netflix. About all the toys.
The toys that made us, which ruined my childhood about Snake Eyes.
Oh my goodness,
yeah. That was terrible. Goodness, yeah. And then I would look at that thing. Like, come on,
to ruin your childhood. What else do we want to do? I think that's probably it for 80 movies, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a ton of that we could say more. Let's talk about what video games do you feel need to be turned into a movie if done correctly. Lots of video games out there, but if done correctly, what video game would you pick?
Okay. So for me,
you cannot say Resident Evil. You can't say Silent Hill because they did both of those.
Well, I already know that. And I was gonna say those.
Good.
Because I wish they would did them correctly.
Okay.
Because I wish they would just scratch them and do something different. But I didn't say those ones. But for a movie, for video game to a movie, if they do it like they're doing now for the remake, Final Fantasy VII.
Okay.
And you do it in parts, so you can basically get you 4 movies or 5 movies and tell that complete story. It would be amazing.
Now, animated or live action?
Oh, live action.
Okay.
So you go live action because they kind of have an animated one, but no, they go live action and just go through it, the whole thing with Sephiroth, and just make him the most awesome character, villain ever. Then you'd have one of the greatest video game villains.
Who's playing him then?
Sephiroth's gonna be difficult. I don't even know who you get to. Like that's gonna be a process. You'd almost have to get someone new. And just find someone that could just... Because he doesn't have to talk a lot. Sephiroth's not like... You have to just have that presence. Because I just need that presence when like Cloud runs up to him and he's like in the fire and he's like, do something. Oh no? I'm still in the fire, but do something. Didn't think so. And then walks through, like, you standing there in the fire. I'm like, I need that in movie form because everybody was sitting there like he just standing in the fire. I'm like, yeah. He literally told him, "You feeling froggy? I'm right here, player."
Okay.
But I need that presence. Like Cloud, I say Cloud would probably be more important than Sephiroth, but Sephiroth's still important because you just need a presence of Sephiroth.
So, and who's playing Cloud? Who's playing Tifa? Who's playing Barret?
You can tell you get the rock for Barret though.
Who's playing Yuffie? Who's playing Vincent? Who's voicing
Red?
Red. Who's Sid?
That's gonna be a process. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's gonna be a process. Like to get Cloud.
Or you could probably get Orlando Bloom to play Sid.
He could. It'd be fun if you actually had the money to get Johnny Depp to play Vincent.
No, I wouldn't want him to be because he's supposed to be tall. And
That Sid was tall. Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Well, that's why I said Orlando Bloom. He's
Yeah.
definitely taller than Johnny Depp.
And then Barrett's huge, so I would say either you go Rock or Batista.
Yeah.
But they're probably Cloud would be that's the hard one.
Or dude who played Luke Cage.
Yeah. Mike, I can't remember his last name. Yeah, Luke Cage. Yeah, he would work.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cloud's a difficult one. Because he has to be, and even then, like both
Cloud and Sephiroth, you basically have to cast pretty boys.
And 2 guys that are also like silent and just like
Sigmas, silent strong types.
Yeah,
that are willing to go head to head to do.
But they're like they come off that they can fight, but they're just kind of just like
reluctant.
Like, leave me alone, dog.
Like I just want to get my job done, basically.
Yeah, and then Sephiroth's like, I'm bored with this world. I think everyone should just die.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's why they've only done the animated because like live action would be kind of difficult. I think. For me, there is an old video game called Guardian Legend. It was a Nintendo game.
Okay.
I don't even know. I think it's an 80s game, maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but just video game in general. I would like to see that turned into a film. You can literally just take the premise of it and just verbatim turn it into a film because it basically takes place. It's in space. You don't have to do the whole Earth thing. There's multiple planets involved, and basically you are in search of like tracking down like the Guardian, but you come to find out that you're the Guardian you're looking for.
Yeah.
And then you're the one that's supposed to save like the universe from all the different evils, right?
Okay.
And then like there's a point in the game where you meet a mystic, and the mystic is like, well, you found what you're looking for the moment you start your journey. And you as the Guardian, you're reading it and you're like, what are you talking about? And Guardian is like, or the mystic is like, or Oracle's like, where's your next foe? And he's like, oh, da 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 da. And he's like, that's where your answer will lie. So then like you go and you beat this crazy like beast thing out in space, and then you're like, I'm the Guardian, and then like you go on and like your powers get better, and then like things you battle are like more and more and more. But there's like lots of puzzle and like mystique with it, so it could be done like really well if you just take what's there, right? Also, Chrono Trigger. I would like to see them turn Chrono Trigger into a movie. I think that would be done. You can do it kind of easily, I think, in the sense if you do it like in the spirit of Dungeons and Dragons kind of, but you don't have to have the dragons, just like the rolling type of stuff on there.
I have
Right? Oh, go ahead.
Castlevania.
They could do. So they have animated movies, which I think are really good. I don't know
Live
how
action.
well live action would do.
I know, I just went horror. That's my bad. That's on me. I just go
I
horror
knew-
right off the bat.
Because the closest to that they've done is Van Helsing.
Yeah.
And it was.
Yeah. I don't think that.
And I think that's why they've never done Castlevania, because like they.
It's just hard. Yeah, it was hard without that. All that there. Ooh.
Now, to be honest with you, if you get the same, who did Bram Stoker's? Bram Stoker is the name of it, but who directed that?
It was.
Because I liked Bram Stoker's
Crap,
Dracula.
I can't remember.
If you get that mindset to do a Castlevania style version, I think it could turn out good.
Yeah.
But if you don't do it that way, I don't know, it could turn out pretty crappy. Like Interview with the Vampire, I didn't read the books or whatever, but I heard that it turned out really well. So if you just get someone who's willing to work with the adaptation of that type of stuff, who plays Simon Belmont?
I don't know. That's the thing, is it's getting like who played. That's like close to The Witcher.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
I mean, they kind of did a Witcher style. It actually kind of worked like that. If they did Witcher style, yeah. And he would probably want to do as accurately as possible. So.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It would work out really great. I personally don't cast him in every nerd genre film that he would want to play in, because I know he's going to do a good job.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Heck, I would even ask him, do you have anybody in mind you would want to play this? Because he probably has some friends, some buddies, or people that he would be like, yeah, cast this person, cast that person. I mean, there's so many actors out there, like, I don't even know them all by name. So, I think a lot of them would do a really good job.
So this one I'm surprised they haven't done.
From a video game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Metroid.
Yeah.
So
Mother
actually,
Brain. Yeah,
because it'd be done. I mean, literally,
especially around the time when they were doing Aliens.
Yeah, like
it would have
made sense. Like I'm surprised they haven't done it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's just a mech suit, and then if they did it like the original video game, like when even in the trailers, just keep her in the mech suit the entire time.
Think about that. A James Cameron led Metroid film.
Yeah, but don't ruin it like they did freaking Assassin's Creed and told the plot twist at the beginning.
No. James Cameron doing Metroid.
I get it, but he's like spending the next like 18 years of his life doing Avatar.
No one cares about Avatar.
He's spending the next 20 years of his life doing Avatar, so he's a little busy. But if they say they don't ruin it with the fact that like showing like her get into the suit or something starting off, where it's like, no, you just show the suit and it's a suit the whole time, and then you'd be like,
with like some flashbacks or something here and there.
And then no, because like even the original video game, like they don't take the suit off until the end of the game.
Mm.
So there's even a reveal of the fact that Metroid's even a girl till the end.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so just kind of like, because a lot of people don't know Metroid, they know
like
the name.
No talking, basically, right?
Like even talking, but maybe have it maybe sound like, because it's coming from the suit, so maybe like robotic or have it, you can't really tell the voice.
Yeah. Like the opening scene of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, you can't hear the voice, but
like you don't know it's Leia in it. No,
yeah.
not Leia.
Yeah, you're Leia in the thing.
Yeah,
playing the thing. You don't know it is, so it's like that voice comes out.
Yeah, though.
Yeah, and then you have that come out, and then like toward the end, like shh, and then like you're like, oh snap! But for people that never seen it, it'd be like, oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
And you just assume that.
That'd be cool.
And then you just keep doing it.
Here would be an easy one to do. Punch Out.
Like Tyson's Punch Out or just Punch Out?
You can't do Punch Out or Mike Tyson's Punch Out anymore because he's older. But I would like to see a Punch Out.
Then who's the boxer at the end?
Whoever, anybody. Doesn't even matter.
It does matter.
No, it doesn't.
You're training to fight this guy.
It could be anybody, any made up champion. Doesn't really matter. but I would like to see the story of Punch Out. Little Mike at the gym.
Is he the big fat guy that goes?
Yes. I want to see that.
His weak spot is like his body, kid. Hit him in the body.
He's like, you see that Band-Aid on his belly button or ball bull soda pop. I want to see them all. I want to see all those characters in there. I want to see them all.
Maybe, I don't know. I just don't. I probably wouldn't.
It'd be a goofy film.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't be one of those like
when I was younger as a kid. Yes, I don't know if I.
mean, hell, they made dodgeball, so
you dodge a wrench, you gotta dodge a ball,
which definitely does not make sense in real life. The logic there is greatly missing.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
I guess so.
The ball's no problem.
Oh man.
I'm trying to
What else? What other games?
Any other games that I would actually want to I'm trying to think of anything that I've played that was just like, oh, it's already been made already.
It's easy to say that there's a lot of like RPG games that you could easily turn into movies, but I just think that they would take too many liberties with changing a lot of stuff.
I mean, cause there's a couple Final Fantasies like between 7, 10.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, between 7, 10.
Almost every RPG game you could easily turn into.
And even 16 that I just played, you could just do all those ones and now you have 6, 7 movies that you could just make out. Another one I'm surprised they haven't done. Zelda
would be good. But I was gonna say, I wouldn't really want them to do this, but I think it could be a good film. Okay. Has Disney characters.
Okay. Oh, talking about Kingdom Hearts.
But
and then you still got Sephiroth. So
yeah, and that's why I said like
you can have a crossover. So you can do that. You can do the Final Fantasy and then cross over.
I think they would mess it up.
Yeah, you could cross over,
but it'd be cool
because you would bring over the Final Fantasy characters. Yeah, and then to cross them over into another one.
The Disney ones.
Yeah,
yeah, it'd be cool. Yeah, it'd be cool, but I don't know if they could. I don't know if they could pull it off. But I would like that to happen because I think it'd be an easy game to make.
Yeah.
Right. So that's me. I think that would be cool. Heck, I would like them to do a good Resident Evil movie.
I mean,
not more.
No. I don't. Not good. See, good is a problem. I like them to follow the story.
Yeah. There we go. Let me change that. I would like them to do a good interpretation of the source material when Resident Evil movie.
When the actual characters from the video game don't show up until their 4th movie that you've made.
Perfect example. Okay, we just talked about this a second ago. Perfect example of them messing up a story that doesn't need to be brought into modern day times and then put into another world. Monster Hunter. Why? Why did you need to say take modern soldiers, have them randomly get sucked into another world where they now have to fight monsters?
Well,
that didn't even make any sense.
Well, it's even Assassin's Creed.
The premise of that game was perfect to turn into a film.
Assassin's Creed.
It's perfect. It's perfect to turn into a film, but they did not.
The twist at the end of the game, when you find out that he's in a machine, but they tell you in the trailer that he's in a machine. It just ruins it because you play the whole game and you think he's looking for this thing. It should have just been him like in this Middle Eastern crusade time assassin. You're looking for this apple, and then toward the end of the game, you wake up in this research facility. Like what? Perfect lead into the second movie and to a second game because you're going, what the hell is going on?
God of War.
Yeah. I mean, God of War is... which are you starting from the original or are you starting from...
Starting from the first one.
I don't know if I'd make it to the... Because I feel like the end ones are way better than the original ones.
You update it. The story of them is great.
Yes, but you can do the 2 new ones on PlayStation without even having to know any of the backstory.
True.
And it works why? Because he explains why he's here and it almost...
If you think from a theater or greedy... movie studio perspective, you could get 5 movies.
But the only thing is, I feel like the problem I feel like is you got the best 2 at the end, and I feel like you're gonna burn out
people watching it.
People watching it when he's like fighting Zeus and stuff already toward the thing, and then it going past
true.
You're gonna burn him out.
Yeah.
And then you get to the actual story between him and his son, which is so much better.
Boy.
Yeah, like him and his son is a so much better story, and it's just like him going, like you already know the fact that you don't know, even if you haven't played it, you just know like he was a destroyer, and he doesn't want to be that anymore.
Yeah.
So you don't even need to see him do it. You just know that.
Okay, so then maybe you start off at 3. Because I like him to start off at 3 where they're fighting Titans.
But then too, now you have to explain why is this regular sized Thor a problem?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's the thing too. Is like you got him this massive
because then the whole story why he doesn't want to be a destroyer makes more sense now.
No, because Thor works him.
But only because he doesn't want to be evil or be like go into full Kratos mode. That's why.
So okay, so in the game he's because it's the second game, so he's already been Kratos. Like, he's already got his chains back. He's already destroyed a bunch of stuff. Then Thor shows up and was like, "What's up? Kill my son. Let's go handle this." And Thor proceeds to beat the living hell out of him.
You ain't that strong.
So it's hard to see a Titan, like when there's already a Titan, like the World Serpent that's there, and he's like, okay, you've killed something that big. Now Thor's out here going, break your little self up, dude. And they're like, damn, you killed him. No, I'm not done with you yet.
Zap.
The man killed him and brought him back to life.
See, and that's the thing. You haven't fight someone on the level of Thor, but he fought Zeus.
But that's what I'm saying. So when you sit there and go through the beginning ones, you're like, how has he not just worked Thor?
That's what I'm saying.
And so and he has another weapon. So now he has 2 weapons.
So you're basically saying, like, to avoid the issue that follows if you follow the game into this one, you start on that one.
You start on that one because now you're going. He now has an axe and he has his
chain of chaos,
and Thor still works him. So now you're like, why? Like why? Like how? And you just worked his son and other people that have powers in that world, but all of a sudden Thor's an issue. But you've just destroyed tons of other gods.
So then, do you at least give the background about how he became the God of War before?
So they
at the very least.
So in the game they do it. So if you've never played it, like they go through it.
They talk about that.
They talk about it. So they go in and go and like it kind of
that's where he gets the ashes from.
Yeah, and he's like, and like he goes through and he talks.
So then you maybe have a flashback scene of that or whatever.
And even the game, they don't flashback. Like you don't even need it. It's just the way he talks about it.
No, I'm saying if you're gonna show it in a movie, you just have him verbally talk about it, or do you show it in a flashback?
So in the game, he verbally talks about it, but the way he talks about it, because you have the flashback, because he's talking to a character. So he killed her son.
Oh yeah.
And so
what's her face?
Faye.
Yeah.
Faye. And so he's talking to her, and she's talking about the loss of a kid, and like, yo, you don't know it, and he's like, well, I had a god trick me, and I killed him, and he goes, this is like on my body is the ash of them.
Okay.
And she's like, oh, I didn't know. You know, again, like, oh, I didn't know. Like, and now this is the second game. Like, you've been seeing this whole time. You don't know, like, he's carrying this on him, and he's not even telling his son all this.
Yeah, he's not talking about it.
So his son doesn't know half. There's a whole, like, basically, like, he's almost like this quiet dude that his son sees, but he's a full-on god murderer. And so it's like, he doesn't, in part of the time, he doesn't want to be that person in front of his son.
Yeah. Because he wants his son to pick a different path.
Yeah. And then his son's like, yo, I want to be a hunter too. Let me.
I want to be all powerful. I want to be strong.
And he's like, Dad, how do you get big like you? He goes, you pick up heavy things. You put them down. You pick them up again.
Not lying.
He's like, hey. Like his god powers kick in and he just be strong. It's like, wait, I gotta work out? Like, what do you mean? I'm not just gonna be like, god power kick in. You gotta work.
I just want to be strong for no reason.
Yeah, for no reason. Like, And then even the Evolve of the Sun, like I think that story of God of War, like what he did before, almost does not really matter. It matters, but it doesn't. It's not for that story.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fully important that you know that he fought Zeus and all them.
Okay.
Like he's Greek and he tells stories of like him being in Greece and what happens and like how his men die and like how other things affect him and how he like, kind of moves on past it.
Okay.
But not necessarily like you need to see him like, oh, how I killed Zeus or I killed these Titans or whatever it is. Like you don't even know how the fact he goes there. And even when you do okay, you can do something maybe 4 movies where like the first game is broken up in 2 movies and then like the they can still do like either the end of the movie or like after the credits where Thor comes to his door and where he's just like, huh?
Like zap.
And then the start of the next movie where Thor's just working him.
That could be cool. That could be cool. Norse mythology Thor,
Yeah.
not Marvel Thor.
Yeah, it's Thor's mythology, so it's
Just to be clear.
So it goes through. So his hammer's a little smaller, but
A little different. Yeah. Okay, that could work. Any other games? Well, we saw what happened when they tried to do World of Warcraft. That was pretty bad.
yeah. I don't know, in terms of like, I'm just trying to think of games with great stories and like.
Yeah.
What was I playing? Or Final Fantasy.
Game with a great story, and they still ruined it.
Like, I mean, I would say Last of Us, but they're doing it as a TV show already.
Yeah, that'd have been good.
There's really not much. Like, also the ones that are good are done. Or, I mean, here's what they want is to take a bunch of money and they want to just cash grab. They could make it. It's Grand Theft Auto. If you go make a Grand Theft Auto movie that is dollar signs.
Yeah, easily. I don't even know if you really need too many. You don't really need big stars to lead that movie either.
I
Just
mean,
the name itself.
Yeah, and you already have stories, so you just take one of the stories.
To be honest with you, you could probably just cast average. I would do GTA 5 storyline though.
5? I like San Andreas though. San Andreas is good.
I like the 5 one better because of the craziness of the people who are in it.
Yeah, the three of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, five
and
is good.
And it would make a dope movie because like you could do that the way you jump around.
Yeah.
Right.
So you could do multiple because you could do 5. You can still do 4. 4 is good. I like San Andreas.
I'm saying you could
So
jump
you
around.
could, yeah, you
but
could
I'm
do
just saying,
those.
what would you use to start the franchise off?
I don't know if I would do 5 first because it's the biggest and most ambitious.
Okay, so then you would start off on San Andreas.
I'd either go San Andreas or I'd go 4. So you either go, Cali and Compton with gangs, or you do the Russian mob.
Okay. Do you skip over
So either you
any
do
DLC?
So you either do New York or you do L.A. It just depends on where you want to film first.
Okay.
Because those are the 2 ones is New York and L.A. So you go, okay, you do one of those ones and you just go from there. And if you could go either one, it doesn't really matter which one you could do.
Which had a better story though?
They both had a good story. I would say 4 probably overall had a better story.
I would say 4 had a better story.
Overall.
Yeah. 4 had
Overall,
a better story.
4 had a better story.
I think you can start on 4, then go 5.
Yeah.
Because you can cover, if you wanted to do in between, like make a first movie, second movie, and a third movie, you could cover whatever DLC from 4 to 5.
I don't think they really have to do the DLC because
No, I'm saying if you want
there's
to
so
use
much
the story.
stuff. Like I would say, just you
But
keep
4 has
taking
a
the base.
master story already.
Yeah, you just stay with the base stuff on 4, and then
Heck, I think there's at least 20 plus hours of dialogue in 4 just alone with that. So I mean that's more than enough for a film. So side quests, cars.
Yeah. What's going on? They just have one moment though. One of them where like you're driving or something, do something crazy, and they get out. They get out and they answer the phone and they walk away and the car explodes behind them. Like GTA.
Would you do Saints Row?
No, I just was a knockoff of GTA.
Yep.
So it's just
I agree. So no Saints Row. Okay. And then what else did you have on the topic ones?
Okay, so I have some things here.
We're almost at the end here, folks. Almost at the end.
Basically, I just made some lists. Basically, just ranking a few things, just random categories.
Okay.
Ranking 1 through 10. What do you think of the highest? What's the bottom? Hard hitting rankings here. They're difficult. They're going to be really hard to decide what's number one. Maybe, maybe not. I might be completely wrong with this. We'll try this one. That's the one I thought was pretty difficult.
Okay.
So, which theme song would you put in this order? There's 10 of them. So who's 1 through 10?
10 of these?
Yeah.
Okay.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Wait. From the
animated series.
Okay.
DuckTales.
All right.
Transformers.
Okay.
X-Men animated series.
Okay. I was waiting to hear that one.
Batman animated series.
Okay.
Inspector Gadget.
Okay.
G.I. Joe.
Okay.
Simpsons.
Okay.
He-Man.
All right.
Thundercats.
X-Men.
X-Men's one for you?
X-Men. Then Turtles.
X-Men Turtles.
I don't give a fuck about the rest.
What did I go with?
I'd probably give it Thundercats.
Like,
as a third.
Thundercats is 3?
Thundercats is 3. But for me, because like that. Like no matter where you play that, like I'm gonna love that. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one I love as well, and the diehard turtle fan in me wants to. As soon as you said that, I was like, oh, it's number 1. But realistically, like I would rock out more. And Transformers, I give 4 because I like it, but there's not really like a lot to it, which is why I can't give it to Batman because there's nothing really there. It's just music.
That's the same thing with X-Men. It's just music.
But it's like it's so like, riffy. Like it's hardcore. Like the Batman one is kind of like it's cool, but it's not. It doesn't ever like get me like I never used to get as hype.
Okay. So what's the worst one?
The worst one of those? Oh man.
So what's your bottom? What would be 10?
What's on there again?
Thundercats, He-Man, Simpsons,
He-Man,
G.I. Joe, Inspector Gadget.
He-Man.
He-Man's bottom?
He-Man's bottom.
Yeah, He-Man's probably towards the bottom. But mine too. I'd say
Inspector Gadget's really catchy.
I'd say He-Man's the bottom. And then right above He-Man, so He-Man's 10, 9 would probably be G.I. Joe for me.
Yeah, G.I. Joe.
For me though, I would say Transformers is probably bottom 8 is 8 for me. And then I would probably put Batman above there. And then my bottom one I've tossed because as much as I love Inspector Gadget. So, yeah, I think DuckTales is 1 for me.
Really?
Yeah. I think DuckTales is 1 for me.
To be honest, I would put DuckTales above Transformers. Now I think about it.
I think DuckTales is 1 for me.
Tales that you can.
I think it's DuckTales, Turtles. I'd probably go X-Men. DuckTales, Turtles.
And for me, the
Inspector Gadget, then the X-Men.
Why I'm putting X-Men above is because like when you hear how the song for it got made, basically an accident. This happened to become an amazingly great riff. I'm like, yes, that's going to the top of my list. DuckTales, I would say, is pretty high though too. I'd have to put it at number 4 at least. Maybe number 3. X-Men, Turtles, DuckTales.
Okay. All right. So now we got some action movies.
Action movies.
So you rank these ones. Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, Speed, True Lies, The Rock, Terminator 2, The Fugitive,
Dang.
Point Break,
Okay.
Con Air, Bad Boys. I already know my number 1.
Dang.
Yeah.
Want to say that again? All right, so for me, I'm gonna put. I gotta do it. I know you're probably gonna say Die Hard.
Yeah, Die Hard's my one. Die Hard's my one.
But Terminator 2 Judgment Day for me.
Okay.
Like, I cannot tell you how many times I've been in the shower and be like, where's John Connor? Acting like I was the T-1000. Like, getting my Running Man on, like, you know, come with me if you want to live. That whole thing, like, I just think that was, like, the greatest ever. Might have been because I think I was, like, in 4th grade, maybe.
It was 90. It was
5th grade when that came
91.
Out. I was 10.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Die Hard's one for me.
Die Hard 1's for you. I think, yeah, Terminator 2, I'm going to put number 1 for me.
Number 2 for me is Bad Boys.
Okay.
Terminator 2 is probably 3. The bottom I would go. Who's that? Who's that 10? 10 is probably Con Air. 10 is Con Air. The Rock is 9.
Shouldn't even be in the same conversation as
The Rock
first
is
three
9.
you mentioned.
Probably then Point Break. Fugitive, True Lies. No, take it back. Speed is down there with them.
I was gonna say, I'm like, are you putting Speed really high on your list?
No, Speed is technically it's actually 20. Take that back. Speed is 10. Con Air is 9.
I would say Con Air is
not
as good as Speed.
I enjoyed weird Nicolas Cage more than.
Do you?
Yeah, than freaking
long-haired Nicolas
No,
Cage that literally looks like a Van Damme copy from Hard Target.
They come out the hairs.
He literally has the same look as Van Damme from Hard Target.
That was at least more like Speed is just I just never was like
Speed was cool.
Speed is 10. Then I go Con Air, and then
because what's his name is the villain in Speed, right?
Yeah.
I'll never forget that he played Bowser.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I know what you talk about, but yeah. No. It's not mine. Okay, let me see if I find another one that I had in that was good here.
Good. Objectively. Objectively. It was an objectively good film.
Okay. Let's find something that's like difficult here for. Okay. Black TV shows.
Black TV shows?
Yes. Cosby Show, Fresh Prince, Martin, Different World, Living Single, Family Matters, Good Times. Sanford and Son.
It's a rare condition in this day and age.
The Jeffersons, or In Living Color.
Now ask me if I know any other opening song, and the answer is no.
Really? On the Playground, Born and Raised?
I mean, I remember that one.
You just say that you know that. In Living Color, you get what you want. Come on, man, you don't say you don't know this.
Okay, that's true. I do know.
Alright, so what would be your number 1?
Sanford and Son.
Sanford and Son, Jefferson.
To be honest with you, if you ever watched Nick at Night and you watched the old episodes of Sanford and Son, hilarious.
Yes.
Comedy gold. And I'm so mad that the show came on before I was even born. I go back and watch it, and it's great. It like, to be honest with you, those are some of my most favorite things to go back and watch. Is Sanford and Son.
Yeah.
So. Especially Red. He is so funny. He's hilarious.
I'm coming to you.
Oh man.
So what's your number 1? What's your number 1?
Man. Well, for me, because this was a thing in my household we did on the night that the new episodes aired in Living Color.
Living Color? Living Color's number 1?
My number 1. Because we had to hurry up and eat dinner, hurry up and take a shower so we can watch, because Living Color came on just like at my bedtime. And if we wanted to watch it, you had to be ready to go to bed the second the show was over.
Well,
for me,
for me,
my
my show
not to discredit any of those, but like it had such an influence on me as far as like comedy, the worldview on things, the way the sketch comedy was done, the diversity of the cast, how they all got along so well, how they played off each other so well. Like that just did like a lot of good things on that show for me.
Okay, my number one is my show. It's Martin.
I knew you were gonna say that.
It's Martin.
It's Raw Dog.
Yeah, it's from Martin. Raw Dog Pain. And then after that, I mean, my number two, I'm still debating. Sit down. Stay.
The fact that that was improv too.
Yeah, because like he couldn't get a real dog. They wouldn't give him a real dog.
Like, Tommy is trying not to laugh.
Oh, he is trying his hardest not to break, and they didn't tell him. Oh, even
the
him.
fact that they did that in one take was amazing.
The part with him and Tommy Davidson, where he's talking about like, oh, your house, you got a lake right, and it's all improv. It's just them talking. He's like, oh yeah, the lake right there. Oh, the catfish is.
That show was really really good, to be honest with you. But I didn't watch it as often as I did In Living Color.
So I would say Martin is one, and then two. I'm going Fresh Prince.
Yeah?
I'm going Fresh. And then Living Color is 3. As much as I love in Living Color.
Dang, okay.
But Martin and Fresh Prince were my shows.
Alright. Makes sense.
They were my shows right there. And then
I am going to throw a curveball on there because the other show that I loved watching every Friday night because it was part of TGIF. Family Matters.
That's probably 4.
That's my number 2.
That's 4.
My number 3 is Martin. My number 4 is Fresh Prince. My number 5 on this list is the Sanford and Son. Then I'll go Cosby. Then I would go.
I'd probably go Cosby then Sanford.
A Different World.
In a Different World.
Living Single was cool.
I like Living Single.
In a 90s kind of world.
I didn't really watch Good Times or Jefferson, so they're going to end up at the bottom of my list just because I didn't watch
them that much.
I didn't watch them
I
that much.
enjoyed them when I see them.
Yeah, but I just didn't watch. And I would probably say Good Times is last because I've seen the least amount of him.
Yeah.
And then Jefferson is up there, the 9, just because.
So where do you put Sanford and Son? 7?
Sanford and Son is probably.
Have you seen more Sanford and Son?
I would give Sanford and Son above Living Single.
Red Fox.
So it's 7, yeah.
Okay.
Which yeah, 7.
Would you put Living Single behind Martin or?
Oh, the Living Single was 8.
Oh, 8 for you. Okay.
Living Single was 8. It's Living Single, Sanford and Son.
Okay.
And then Different World, and then you'd have, I think it's Cosby, and then the rest of the other stuff. So boom. So this one is just for you, because this one is
just for me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me see that.
I'll read it off for you first, and then
is it 10? Is it 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
Umbach.
Oh, it's martial arts. Okay.
Rumble in the Blocks.
Rumble in Bronx. Okay.
Way of the Dragon.
Way of the Dragon. Okay.
36 Chamber of Shaolin.
Shaolin. Yeah. Okay.
Bloodsport. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Okay. That was good. That was
Rush
good.
Hour. I don't know what I think that is.
Not sure that's in there.
Fist of Fury.
Original?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
okay.
The Karate Kid. Into the Dragon.
Man.
There you go.
Okay, so the hype for Into the Dragon is real. I could probably just legit go with the way it's. No. I would move this around. All right, so for me, I put Enter the Dragon at my top. Huge Bruce Lee fan. I then would take, because I like old school martial arts films, I would put the 36 Chambers of Shaolin second.
Okay.
Second. Then I would do Fist of Fury as my third. I would then put Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon because there's huge The Wire foo afterwards. improvement on what the Chamber of the 36 Chambers of Shaolin. Oh my gosh, some of those films were so crazy. The Wire Fu and those were so wild, but the new version obviously was better. Then Bloodsport.
Okay. Van Damme pretty low, right?
I want to put him at the top. I'm not gonna lie to you, but for the simple fact I know he's not better than Bruce Lee. Okay, but Bloodsport, that was my go-to. That was my inspiration for doing martial arts back in the day. But I'm gonna give him the 5th spot. I want to put him number 1.
Okay.
But I'm not going to, because I already gave him a really high ranking on the other actor ones before. Then I'm gonna go Rumble in the Bronx, then Way of the Dragon, and then I'll leave On Bug down there.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll give Rush Hour. No, Rush Hour is the last. I don't even know why that's in there. Rush Hour's at the bottom.
Damn. I don't care about that Jackie Chan movie.
No.
You just hate her, yo.
He has very few fight scenes in that movie compared to the rest of those.
Hating. Okay. So.
Because Bloodsport technically is just copying stuff from Enter the Dragon. They even have the scene where he like snatch the coin from my hand. I'm like, word? Okay. Technically Kung Fu, not Enter the Dragon. Sorry.
Alright.
Don't get me started on that either. Oh, damn, ripoff. David Carradine. Not even his fault.
So these are...
Which is now led by a female version of Kung Fu.
That's right.
So stupid. It's like 5 seasons. Who's watching that show? No.
Everybody.
No one's watching that
Everybody and their mom.
Did you guys know that there's a new Legend of Kung Fu? Probably not.
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, see?
Okay.
5 seasons? 5?
Hell yeah.
And you didn't even know? I can't even get a 2nd season of one of my favorite animes of all time. That show has 5?
Alright, so we're ranking action characters.
Ranking action characters?
Yes.
Okay.
So Kyle Reese, Terminator. Jack Burton.
Okay.
Ash Williams, Evil Dead. I don't consider it action. I don't know.
Okay.
Sarah Connor.
Okay.
John Matrix from Schwarzenegger from Commando.
Okay.
Ripley, Aliens.
Ripley, Aliens.
Rambo.
Self-explanatory.
Martin Riggs. Mel Gibson.
Really?
Yeah.
From Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon.
Okay.
Indy.
Okay.
John McClane.
I'm gonna say one thing about this list. Where's Action Jackson? Where is
Action Jackson?
Where is he? He's not on the list.
Not on the list.
What's up with that?
I didn't make the list, so
Clearly.
tell ChatGPT to put in Action Jackson.
Clearly. You should have said with least list at least one black actor.
Affirmative action on this list at all times.
Alright, let's see.
Who you got as your number 1 action character?
Okay, so to be honest with you, Riggs.
Really?
Because of the crazy stuff that he does through all 4 lethal weapons? Yes.
Go.
The man's like, I gotta save everybody. Fuck this shoulder. I'm gonna pull down your mansion with my Toyota Tacoma. Hey, Toyota Tacoma. In California, pulls down a mansion and Lethal Weapon. Craziest thing I ever saw as a kid. I remember sitting there like, how is he doing that? Is it a month? I was like, the funniest part about that is, walk out of the theater, what's in the parking lot? Toyota Tacoma. I'm like, there's no way that thing's pulling down a mansion with those beams and everything else. That was crazy. But Rick's character is wild.
My number 1.
I know who you're gonna give it to. I already know. Because there's been so many Die Hard movies.
Let's go to the lab. Come on the coast. Have a few laughs. Die Hard. John McClane. John McClane.
Okay.
John McClane is one. I want to overrank someone at 2, but I'm not gonna do that.
Overrank someone?
Because I'm gonna move them higher than I should be, but it's
who?
Ash.
Oh. That's probably who you want to put number one.
No, Ash's not number one. He's not number one for horror. He's by far my number one character for horror. But
since you were him for Halloween,
yeah. So John McClane. I go John McClane. I go Indy. I would probably put Ash at 3.
Okay.
Oh, Ash at 3, and then Jack Burton at 4.
What? So you're not even considering Riggs? Really?
I'm more entertained by the other 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Of all the crazy stuff that he does? Action.
If we're talking... Well,
action.
If you want to go crazy, I mean...
No, action.
Okay.
Action.
My man jumped off a burning skyscraper that's exploding.
Jack Burton's been in one film.
I don't care. He sees things you can never see.
Oh my gosh.
It's all in the reflexes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I gotta go with Burton. I'm more... Then...
At the bottom of the list, definitely John Matrix.
I'd say I would probably put Reese at the bottom and then Matrix. And then
I'm putting Ash at the bottom also.
He's being pissed off, man. Cause my man cuts his own arm off and replaces it with a chainsaw. Come on.
I put Rambo second, to be honest with you.
Rambo was probably...
Then John. Then I would put Indy.
Damn, Indy.
Yes. Then I would put Ellen Ripley. Then Sarah Connor.
I'd say Sarah Connor and Kyle Reese probably at my bottom. then you have
yeah, because Kyle Reese doesn't technically play that big of a character.
Yeah.
Like his character's important, but he's not like he doesn't have a large role.
Yeah, I put Kyle Reese
as far as screen time.
I put Kyle Reese at the bottom. Sarah Connor, John Matrix from Commando, but he doesn't give you that great gift where he's just. Loading up all the weapons.
Just shooting all kinds of crazy.
So I put him at 8, and then I'm not that big of a Riggs fan. Yeah, he's probably gonna be.
Have you seen all the Lethal Weapon?
I've seen every single one of them.
You go watch them again, yo.
I've seen every single one of them.
Especially when he's like, yeah, I'm about to beat up his little Chinaman, and Jet Li gives him the business, and he's like, okay.
My man jumped from a helicarrier to a car.
Who did?
John McClane. You know the 4th one? There's a little thing right there. He jumps off of it. And jumps off the and then the freeway is freaking falling. Yeah. You talking about crazy?
No, I don't like because that was more like a Mission Impossible type kind of style thing.
Okay, he blows up a freaking 747 in the second one.
Maybe there's more nostalgia in Lethal Weapon.
I was like, you want to go crazy? You talking about John McClane right now?
Maybe I'm getting too old for this shit.
You're talking about like crazy. I'm like, you got a man that literally chopped off his own arm for replaced it with a chainsaw. But
it's more horror.
He popped his shoulders in now.
He just dislocates his shoulder. He does a bunch of crazy stuff.
He's like, this cat got evil.
They have that whole thing where they're trying to stop the kids from using the cop killer bullets. And they find out that Danny Glover's wife,
even Ripley,
is the penman for those love novels. But he thinks he's gonna take. He's like, "Are you going to take?" He's like, "No."
No, those trashy romance novels. My wife. That's my wife.
He's like, really? Can we not talk about this right now? Bullets whizzing overhead.
Oh
yeah.
my goodness.
So.
But yeah,
I think it was good.
I would say those were my ones there.
What else we got?
I'm trying to find the hard one that I had that I was like, oh, that one is this one it? Is this one?
Drum roll, please.
Because I did a couple of them and they're like, because I was like, oh, this was a better pairing. Ooh, that's good. I'm trying to think of which one. Because I gave a bunch of options just in case. Okay, here we go.
Are there any movies you want us to talk about or discuss? Feel free to chat it. Feel free to leave it on our YouTube page. Same name, AIReviews.
That's right.
Okay. Or Instagram.
You know what I'm saying? It's
DM him, not me.
It's you know what I'm saying? Come home from school. If you want to watch.
Here we go.
Recess. Timon and Pumbaa.
Recess,
yes. Timon and Pumbaa.
Recess?
Yes.
Is on that?
Listen, wait, hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
Timon and Pumbaa.
I have an idea what's going to be on this list. And it's
DuckTales.
An easy one for me.
Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Fenton Quackshell.
Tailspin. Oh, these are all Disney, the first one.
Yeah.
Darkwing Duck.
I literally, once you said that, I was like, I already know this is going to go.
Gargoyles.
Yep.
Goof Troop.
Okay.
Bonkers. I don't know why it's
UPN.
Oh, it's in here, but the Little Mermaid animated.
UPN?
They threw in Little Mermaid animated series, but I didn't pick that one.
Trash. That's it?
Yeah, it's 10.
This is easy.
Okay.
Easy. I'm rushing home, literally off the bus, to catch a new episode of DuckTales, Tailspin, Darkwing Duck, and Gargoyles.
Well, which one's first? So just Tailspin, DuckTales first?
No, I put Gargoyles above all that shit.
I was like, which one's first?
Gargoyles first. DuckTales is really close. I love DuckTales. But legit, real talk, Gargoyles.
Okay.
Right? Gargoyles number 1. DuckTales. Then I'll go Tailspin, Darkwing Duck, Chip and Dale, Goof Troop, and I did not really watch the rest of that. I watched 1 or 2 episodes of Bonkers, probably.
I didn't watch Bonkers. Bonkers is the last one.
Now, what would have made this list difficult if you had Tiny Toon Adventures, Animaniacs, and Batman animated series.
That's not.
That would have made that.
I think I have another one in here that might have.
That would have made that list difficult.
I think I might have. Let me see. I might have.
Then I'm like, ooh, I don't know. Especially there. To be honest with you, there was at one point in time that list of Disney shows was competing with that list of. It was Batman the animated series, Superman the animated series, and they were all coming out at the same time. And I was. Anyone remember that last button on your remote?
Flipping back and forth.
I had an egg timer. And I would set it because the commercials were about 30 seconds or in between. So whichever episode had the most like influential episode at the time, that was the one I was watching the most. So I'm like, 30 seconds is up. Switch back. Okay, back to that one. We're gonna watch it. That's why I used to wish I had a second TV so I could record on the VCR. But yeah.
I think I didn't tell you that one. But
Back in my day,
I had all these ones. All right.
What's your next list? Ba-dum-bum-bum.
I have one for me, which was difficult.
Okay,
I gave you a martial arts one. I gave you a martial arts one.
Oh, well, then let me read it then.
So the martial arts was the top one.
Top one up here?
Yeah.
Aha! Retro horror movies. Not in particular order. Child's Play. Friday the 13th.
Kevin Bacon.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The Exorcist. Hellraiser.
Pinhead.
The Evil Dead.
That's the first one.
The Shining. A Nightmare on Elm Street. Halloween. And Poltergeist.
Okay. So I'm not going where you think I'm going because it's
too obvious?
Well, no, it's Evil Dead 1. It's Evil Dead 1, and Evil Dead 1 is not my all-time favorite.
I'll let you look at it, so because I don't think you'll remember all those off top. I know you know those films, but I don't think you'll remember the 10 in the list.
Evil Dead 1 is not my all-time favorite. 2 is my all-time favorite. So, Nightmare on Elm Street gets the number 1 spot. What are you doing?
That time I got reincarnated as a slime.
Alrighty.
Stress ball. I got the country roll.
Alright.
Anime Expo.
So, Nightmare on Elm Street is 1.
Okay.
Then I'll go Evil Dead.
Then Evil Dead.
Let's let's see. That it probably helps for me to go to the bottom because at the bottom it's going to be.
Sorry, at the bottom line's here.
Exorcist. I'm not a big fan of The Exorcist. It's not.
Aren't they supposed to do like a re-release of that?
They've done like a billion different spin-off remakes. I'm not a fan of it. I just don't. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is 9.
Okay. You're working way backwards, right?
Yeah, I'm going up. So 8.
That's what he said.
Because it's the one without Jason, Friday the 13th.
Dun dun dun.
So we go Friday the 13th.
Okay.
Actually, no. I'll take Hellraiser, then Friday the 13th. So Hellraiser 8, Friday the 13th at 7. We'll probably go Halloween at 6.
Okay.
Child's Play at 5.
Look at the indecisiveness on this guy.
Child's Play at 5.
He loves these films so much. He's having a hard time placing them. You see.
Well, I'm trying to make sure I don't forget one.
Like if you see the way you look, you're like.
Well, I want to make sure I didn't forget one before I placed it there. I'm like, did I forget one? But I was like, yeah, Child's Play is at 5. Then I'll go. Yes, I'll make sure I didn't forget one. Yeah, Child's Play at 5. Okay, Poltergeist at. No, Shining at 4, Poltergeist, Evil Dead, Nightmare on Elm Street.
He did say that would be hard for him. He admitted that in the beginning. So and you proved that it was the like, I don't know.
It's like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know some of these ones. I was trying to figure out what some of these ones are. Let's see what else do I have here in terms of lists that we could do. Okay.
All right, I have one that I sent you on Instagram, switching it to sports.
Okay.
If you could take 2 players in their prime and have them play in the same franchise, the outcome of Michael Jordan, Derrick Rose. Go.
Wait.
Together on the Bulls.
So you're taking...
They're both in their prime.
Oh, which one am I taking over the 2?
No, they're on that team together. Derrick Rose in his prime, Michael Jordan in his prime. They're playing on the same Chicago Bulls team.
What's the debate?
Is that a better team than if you had Magic Johnson and Kobe? Which team are you taking?
I mean, it's going to win. The Jordan team's going to win because Kobe's going to ISO. That's going to basically kill off Magic.
Okay.
Because Magic is, but they're both. You have two ball dominant players. So you have Magic and you have Kobe. So it's the fact that Magic would bring the ball down and Kobe's gonna be like, "Fuck you." Goddamn. Where Rose was gonna know his place on Mike. So and then 2, you gotta think of Rose is gonna be faster and more athletic than Magic.
Okay.
So that's what they win there. Now Magic will post Rose because he's gonna be taller, but Rose can catch most of his shots because he can jump higher.
Okay. And then who, if you could take them in their prime, who would you pick to have on your team? Derrick Rose, John Morant.
I mean, that's not actually a debate. One of them has MVP, the other one doesn't. I'm like, one's an MVP winner.
Cold-blooded.
I go, that's not really a debate. Like one's one of the youngest MVPs in the history of the league, and one of them is basically about to get themselves suspended out the league. I wouldn't actually.
Next sports question. Which duo would be the biggest in today's game if you could take these players in their prime? LeBron, Kevin Garnett on the Lakers versus Shaq at Boston.
Doesn't even matter who he's dealing with. It's Shaq.
With Jason Tatum.
Shaq. Prime Shaq. There's no one in the league stopping Prime Shaq.
Okay.
It was like no one in the league is stopping Prime Shaq.
Okay, next
Especially the way they can't touch him. There's no way you're stopping Shaq.
Which of these trades in today's current game would have the largest impact in the league? Jokic going to the Lakers, or Giannis going to Golden State?
Giannis.
Going to Golden State?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we said impact on the league. You gotta
Yeah.
think. Well, LeBron has 2 more years left.
Mm-hmm.
So the Giannis and Curry thing would last way longer.
Dynasty, right?
Yeah, you might get you'll probably get 2 championships, maybe 3 for LeBron, and then you're done. But you're talking about Giannis and Steph, they could probably go. That's gonna prolong both their careers.
And if that trade were to happen, who would win in that Western Conference final?
Oh, Warriors.
Okay.
Well, is the Lakers trading AD for Jokic, or they have AD? If they have AD, then the Lakers are winning.
Okay. So just as is, they just happen to get Jokic.
Well, then they're stacked. That's different. That's different because now you have AD.
And nothing changes on the Warriors.
Yeah,
they
you
just
have
get
AD.
Giannis.
You have AD, and you have them. They're too big in there. They would win just because they would just be. You have 2 7-footers and LeBron.
And then you're saying it doesn't matter who they have for guards.
It really doesn't. Because LeBron's running point, so
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter. Like the 2 other people are just standing there to get a ring. Because you have AD, and plus it prolongs AD because all he has to do is go out there to the wing or to out there and hit some mid-range jumpers, go rebound. Jokic is doing all the rebounding and dirty work, and he goes home to Serbia at the end of the year.
Based off of Finals MVPs, is this the greatest starting lineup? Ready? Magic Johnson, guard, 3 Finals MVPs. Michael Jordan, guard, 6 Finals MVPs. Forward, LeBron James, 4 Final MVPs. Other forward, Tim Duncan, 3 Finals MVPs. And at center, Shaquille O'Neal with 3 Finals MVPs.
You say the greatest team ever assembled?
Is that the greatest starting lineup based off of Finals MVPs?
Maybe not the greatest, but it's very few starting lineups that you could pick that would beat it.
Okay.
That could even get close.
Okay. Any other starting lineup without putting any of those people in that starting lineup, who would you put against that team that you think would be better?
So center, you'd probably put Akeem.
Okay. Not Will?
At the time, I'd go Akeem.
Remember, these are prime. If you could put players in their prime.
As much as I would say Wilt,
Mm-hmm.
damn near Prime Shaq played non-prime Akeem, and Akeem gave him that work. So if you're trying to talk about beating him, I'm going with a team that's gonna. I'm playing a team that's gonna beat him. So you would go.
In your head, are you thinking who you'd put at each spot to beat that person?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so. Okay, go ahead.
So then I would probably put power forward.
Uh-huh.
KG.
Okay.
Small forward is easy. You put Kobe.
Okay.
Point guard, because it's Magic, right? Point. Steph.
Okay.
And then that's the small forward. Dirk, because he beat him.
Okay. What about your shooting guard then?
It's a Kobe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All
I would go Dirk, or you could go for small forward, or
Because Dirk and KG versus Braun and Duncan, basically, right? And then you pick Kareem to go against Shaq. You pick
Akeem.
Akeem. Okay, so you pick Akeem to go against Shaq. Then you're saying you pick Kobe to go against Jordan, and then you're picking Steph to go against Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're thinking that team would have a chance against him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. Magic has to chase.
Yeah, because he's gonna get tired stepping out.
He has to chase Steph.
Especially with that range. He never guarded anyone like that before.
And then you'll have KG and like pick and roll. And then that's the thing is you're gonna put like Akeem in pick and rolls and have Shaq out there. And so you're gonna put Akeem in pick and rolls.
And then you got Dirk.
Yeah, and you got Dirk. So now you're helping. You got Dirk out there shooting. KG can hit that mid range. You hit that mid range. You got Kobe. Then you still have Kobe. So
who can create his own shots?
But I just put Kobe there to keep Mike occupied because he can't switch on Steph. Because you can't have him switch off Kobe, so he can't help. So he's done on defense. So now you gotta have Magic chasing.
And you think either Dirk or Garnett shutting down?
Literally the whole matchup is point guard. It's going to be Steph versus Magic because everyone else kind of is balanced. That's the most imbalanced part of it because Magic will try and post Steph.
Okay.
To go back, but then you're going 2s versus 3s.
Mm-hmm.
And you already know if Steph gets hot, well, that's 50.
Okay. I can see that.
So.
All right. Well, those are the only ones I had left. All right. Now, next week we'll have some new topics for you, some new movies, and thank you everyone for tuning in.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Peace.
Peace.